Alright guys, AZCPW here. We're going to do kind of a customer showcase on this car that we just got done. This is going to be a longer project that we have. It's a Cobalt SS supercharged, but we swapped the blower for a turbo. This platform's not new to me. I've personally owned 5 Chevy Cobalts myself. I used to be a nut for these cars, but I moved on to it. I do a lot of LSLT stuff now. So let's start by showing what's under the hood here. So if you guys don't know, ZZP is the company that modifies these cars, that sells parts for them, and is pretty much the only company left that actually supports these. There's a couple other ones like OTTP, Diamond Fab, a bunch of smaller companies, but ZZP is the one who has done these for the most part. As you can see, they even have their own logo, branding, and everything on their parts. So this is just the intro swap kit. So it's just a basic intake straight to the stock water intercooled cooling setup, and then we have the Z57 turbo that they sell in the back here. It's one of their own in-house turbos, which I call Alibaba, because if you know ZZP, you know some of their parts look a little questionable. Obviously, it has a manual boost controller because this car was not turboed factory, so you can't use a factory boost solenoids and everything to control boost because it doesn't have them. So all it ever had was this little guy, and there's not really anything you can do with it. It just kind of sits there now, blocked off a little bit. So this is a atmosphere line, and then we have this line here, but that's just for the bypass valve for the supercharger, which obviously isn't here anymore. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't we just twin charge it? Twin charging is something ZZP used to offer a kit for, but it was deemed to be pretty useless, and just straight turboing it made a lot more power, was a lot more efficient. Now you're probably wondering, what's the total mod list for this car? Well, when we got it, it was just a supercharged car with a smaller upper pulley, which I'm not sure what upper pulley was on it. We didn't really focus on the blower. Not a lot of people do on these cars. So we had a blower with upper pulley. It also had a mid-length header on it, and then it's also on E85. Not flex fuel. These do not have the capability of flex fuel due to the caveman PCM, but it had a couple bolt-ons and everything too. The old intake would have gone through there, but since it's turbo swapped, the turbos are located on this side, and that's where you get the intake. Now chassis wise, what is done to this? Not much. It's on lowering springs, stock wheels, and when we get to the interior, you just see a short shifter. Now this does have a trans swap as well. So this transmission is the F23 out of the base model. The F35 that does come in these cars is basically made of clay. If you throw any power at it above, like say 400, pretty much the gears they don't shatter, they just turn to mush. So to remedy that, there's 2 transmission options. You could swap the F40 out of the old Regals, or you can do a F40 out of a what do they call them? Wasn't an Opal as the other guys. I forgot what they were called, but basically they had a similar engine on the cars. So yeah, F23 is what this one has out of a base model, which is crazy. You'd think, oh, this is the SS, stronger trans. Nope, it is actually the weakest trans you could buy for these cars on a manual. So that's what's swapped in there, so it'll hold power. Otherwise, right now we'd probably have butter gears. So it has an AEM wideband, it has a short shifter. Interior wise, it's not much. Seat delete, outside lowering springs. Has a carbon trunk, but these cars have aged, so the build quality is not too great for parts nowadays. And you can see, stick my whole finger in there. Body's a bit but it's a 2006 Cobalt, so what can you expect much? Can't expect much from 2006 here. So then we have the fenders wrapped. You can kind of see it under here, which no big deal. So what plans do we have for this? Well, the owner wanted to just start with this. He bought the kit, and selling these in Arizona after you already buy it, good luck, can't return it. So we threw it on for him and drilled all the lines and everything. You can see in the back it's got oil feed and everything. Of course, ZZP dropped the ball on a couple things. We fixed it ourselves. There's a few fittings missing, and some what do they call them, crush washers. A few of those were missing, so we handled all that. Now it's running good. Not a single lake, runs reliably. You can daily this car easy. It was a lot faster than if you had the blower. So with that, what are the plans for this? Well, The customer wants to do a forged bottom end. Not that it needs it, but he wants to push some big power. And we're probably thinking around the 600, 650 wheel range, if possible. We already have a 450 Walbro pump on the way. It currently has a 320 liter per hour from AEM in the tank. So we're gonna stick a new fuel pump in the trunk where the fuel tank is, and then we're gonna take fuel oil out. We're gonna swap some 1050cc injectors in from Injector Dynamics, because currently we're at 20 psi and this turbo is not going to make us any more power until we upgrade that fuel system and this MAF sensor, as it has reached its limitation as well. Now you may be wondering, okay, why don't we just speed density tune it, fuck the MAF? Well, in short, the VE tables suck, so there's not really a way to really do speed density on here accurately, at least for big power. Small power you can get away with it, but big power, the VE tables are just so shitty that we can't do that. So for now, we're just gonna have to upgrade the MAF. We're gonna add fuel, and we're gonna see what this turbo will push. For now, the customer is ordering parts. We're gonna do an even bigger turbo setup, forged bottom end. It already has stage 2 cams, so we don't need to do cams either. So right now, it's probably pushing a good low 400, and we're gonna add more later on here when we get those fuel mods. Apparently, ZZP in our tune logs says that boost controller is bad. Typical of them to send us a broken part, but it is what it is. They're gonna send us a new one, and it is what it is. But they're fixing their problems. You know, not every company is perfect, and it happens. So we're just gonna have to wait for that to come in, and then that'll be handled. Thankfully, they're just sending it and not charging us anything. So good on them for doing that. ZZP, thank you. So let's hear this thing. All right, let's get started. Need that AC because Arizona sucks. So when we got this turbo kit, the exhaust doesn't match, so halfway it's basically dumped, half mid dump, but overall it runs pretty damn good, pretty quiet, pretty cruisable for being a dumped car. So yeah, runs pretty solid, and needs some data logging, but it does have a little bit of chop once it's warmed up from the cams. So let's go out. So just cruising overall, it's a very, very, very comfortable cruiser for being a 2006 little Chevy Econobox. Of course, we don't need this. This is a race car, so there's no seat here. So everything is good on it. Stays nice and cool and everything, because now it doesn't have that hot blower. As you can see, the coolant temps, they're pretty low. They typically don't really get higher than like 179. AFR is strong. And this is tuned by ZZP. We're still in the process of doing it, hence why I'm driving it. But there's also just kind of a buddy's car as well, so I kind of get that kind of personal access to it. So, but it is running pretty damn good, so we're just going to continue tuning it. But I'll share a couple little short pulls with you guys just to see how crazy this car is, and then we'll end it there. Sheesh! Yikes! At least we're not involved in that. Cruising the highway, it's pretty quiet, pretty comfortable for what it is. Drives better than with the blower on it, because who wants a loud, annoying blower that's torquey? It's like, I know a lot of you guys like blowers out there. Nothing wrong with blowers, but on this platform, it's just not efficient at all. They do make a bigger blower upgrade for these cars, but it's just not fucking worth it for these cars. It's called the TVS 1320. It's a 1.3 liter blower, which is an upgrade over the 0.9 liter blower. But the highest horsepower one I've really ever seen was like 450. It's just not that great. Intake temps get hot. This car is making like bottom 400s, 20 psi, very conservative, not an issue with it. And you guys are probably wondering, oh, what's a pull in this thing like? Well, if you're in second gear, get it up, and it's just spin city for the most part. So other than that, it drives pretty well. Kind of sluggish in third gear. That was second gear, so third gear is kind of eh. But you really got to get the RPMs up in here. This thing revs to about 7,000, a little over, like 7,500. So you really got to get it up there. Because my floor right now doesn't do much. It's really relying on those RPMs. Just these cars, man, they fucking pull. They do make pretty good fucking turbo sounds when you guys get into it. Probably can't hear much. It's very audible on my end, but it's doing pretty damn good. Customer will definitely be happy with it, homie. especially when we push it even further with the new turbo setup later on this year, which we're probably maybe going to start tearing this thing December whenever he's ready, but he's still got to buy forged internals so we can rip this motor apart, build that, and we're all good. Then we're going to throw that big ass turbo on there. We're going to send this to the moon. With that, this is the end of this video. Stay tuned, we're going to have more stuff coming up. We're going to show you guys a lot more projects. We got one of our fastest builds that's about to get completed here. But for now, enjoy this one. We'll have more content later on. Shoot a like, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.